Hey, what's up you guys, it's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go into chapter 26 of The Game by Lindsay Miller. I'm taking those off because you can see the reflection in my glasses. I didn't realize that. But anyways, we're going to go into chapter 26 of The Game by Lindsay Miller, so I hope that you guys are ready for this video. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, I suggest you click off of the video now. You have been warned. Chapter 26. Leah told her mom she was going to take a nap after an early dinner. Her parents usually left her alone in the evening, and the last 24 hours seemed like they would be the same. Her mom didn't even check on her for the hours after lunch. For the hours after lunch until knocking on her door around 5. She said Leah had to eat, and Leah agreed. She played along. She played nicely. They had to think she was doing what they wanted. When she was confident they were distracted by a movie, Leah crawled out of her bedroom window. She hated biking, but it would have to do. The school was a 30-minute ride away, and Leah could wait for someone to leave through the back door, and she could slip in when they did. She was chilled with sweat by the time she got there. Her leggings and hoodie stuck to her skin. Across the street, Mr. Jackson was sitting on his porch smoking, and he waved at Leah. Leah raised one hand in return. Her plan worked. The moment the door opened, a few kids shoved a rock against the door so they could slip back in. Leah darted up the stairs once the group left. Devin was still in his chair, a bottle of water between his knees and his head thrown back. The people around him were talking amongst themselves in a group a ways off. Leah crept out of the stairwell. "Devin," she half whispered. He jerked up. "What?" Leah waved and nodded to the stairs. "What are you doing here?" he asked, glancing around. "Jim said you wanted to talk." Leah backed up till she was against the door. "I can leave if you want." Devin glanced at the stage where the instructor and security guards were talking. "Okay, sure, yeah, that's fine." It would have been better if he didn't sound so unsure. "Great," she said, and made her way to the stairwell. "I should probably leave before break is over, but I wanted to talk to you." "Please tell me you didn't walk here something equally as dangerous?" he asked, leaning back against the railing. They stopped a story above the door, far enough from either to hear it open but not be in the way of anyone coming or going. "Does that mean you don't think I'm the murderer?" she asked. "Of course I don't think you're a murderer," Devin said, shaking his head. His hair fell over his eyes. "The emails are still bizarre, but no offense, in no world can I picture you fighting Ben or Cassidy and winning." She could hardly take offense at being called not a killer. "Full offense taken, and you're not believing me about the emails." Leah leaned against the opposite wall. "I told the cops about them, which was probably a bad move if someone is framing me." "Is someone framing you?" he asked. "Is that not a leap? If not, it's the deadliest string of coincidences ever." She knocked his knee with hers. "You looked scared when I left your house, and you didn't say anything after that." He scowled. "Detective James called my parents and asked me a tons of questions about you. They are panicked." "I've made an excellent first impression," then Leah sighed. "I should have stuck to science fair." She had never won science fair either, but at least no one died during it. "I always liked watching you do science fair." Leah shook her head. "Why? It's so boring." "Yeah, but you put on a show," he said. "You spent one whole judging round talking about the etymology of sinister when you did the Charity project." Leah flushed and mumbled, "It was a chemistry project, and I got no points that round, and it was the most I've ever learned during science fair. It was great." He laughed softly and shook his head. "I like that when you know something, you know it. You're in a different category each year, and each year you know exactly what you're talking about. I could goof my way through a bunch of biology experiments, but you go all in. Like with assassins, you don't do things by halves. It's a little intimidating." Leah had never thought of herself as intimidating, off-putting maybe, but she was short, plain, and blunt. Her dad called her a jack of all trades and master of none. There was nothing she truly excelled at unless researching counted. "You like me because I'm intimidating?" she asked. "I like you for a lot of reasons," he said. "Maybe that's a strong word. You're certain. You know what you know. You trust yourself." Leah wasn't sure she trusted herself now, with the memories of her dead classmates' ghosts haunting her every thought. She didn't know what she was doing after high school. She didn't know how to carry on with assassins when people were really turning up dead. She didn't know how to navigate this weird new life she had found herself in. She knew Devin, though. "I don't feel like I can right now." Leah reached out and brushed his hair back. He caught her hand with his, and she didn't pull away. "I didn't send you those emails, but other weird things have happened. I found my journal in my backpack the other day, even though it can't have been in there. I emptied it out completely when I thought I had lost it. It's mesh. You can't lose things in it. I was right. There was a second person at the park with Cassidy and me. I didn't shoot Cassidy. And she couldn't say it because the idea she had been right there. She had been steps away from the person who slammed Cassidy's head against a table hard enough to kill her. burned the words out of her. Devin tugged her against his chest and wrapped his arms around her shoulders. Leah tucked her face into his neck. "It's okay," he whispered. "We'll be okay." A hand reached over the railing and yanked Devin back. Leah grabbed his arms. The hand pulled his jacket harder. His feet lifted to the ground. The rush of blood in her ears drowned out Devin's shriek, his fingers gripping the rail as his jacket sleeves cut into his shoulders. Leah wrapped one arm around his waist and shoved one of the sleeves down his arm and off. "Let's go," she cried out. Devin let go of the rail with both hands and let his arms dangle. Leah hugged him to her. The jacket ripped off him. It fluttered to the landing below. Footsteps thundered down the stairs. Leah took off after them. She jumped the last 3 stairs of the landing and skidded into the wall. A figure all in black darted down the last landing. Leah leapt after them. If Devin had fallen, it would have looked like Leah had pushed him. The attacker smacked into the door. It flew open, and they sprinted out. Leah raced after, following their path in the dim light of the street lamps. They turned left back toward the school and took the path leading into the neighborhood around the school. Leah had mapped the area outside of the school grounds extensively for the game, and she took a path that would intercept theirs. She ran without thinking, eyes on the corner ahead, one right, and she would have them. Distantly, Devin screamed her name. She took the corner at full speed. The figure stood in front of her, water gun raised. It was the same person from the park. Their face was covered by the folds of a thin black scarf, and they were taller than Leah by half a foot. Their white tennis shoes were immaculate despite the mud. Why, Leah asked. She could fight them. Water was nothing compared to what they had done. They cocked their head to the side and shot her point blank in the face. Leah collapsed, gasping. Water burned in her eyes, dripping down her nose and into her mouth. She tried to stand and gagged. It wasn't just water. She couldn't see. Footsteps paced around her. Leah scrambled back, eyes shut and gravel ripping into her hands. A shout echoed down the alley. Devin screamed. Leah's vision cleared just enough for her to see the dark smear of her attacker flee. By the time she heaved up the water she had inhaled and Devin had tried to wipe the water mixture from her eyes, the attacker was gone. That is the end of this chapter. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.